hanging out with Professor Yalman at Radio TED-U, Ankara Studios, TED University campus. We have somebody who's very, very special today. You know, there's some people who take you into the future. So back to the future, forward. And this woman, when I met her, I saw this young Turkish lady winning this Oscar at the theater in Los Angeles, and she was like heading it up and saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know, the glamour in her eyes, I was like into that future. Yes, I have this actress with me, but you know, unfortunately she's from Boston University. You know, we hate those people across the river as Harvardonians. But Çağıl Aydıner, welcome to our studios.
Good to be here. Good, even though you're a Harvard grad, I am happy to be here. And yeah, I will definitely be thanking you when I get my Oscar, and I'm going to be mentioning this podcast right here.
Yeah, we're going well ahead into the future right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully not that ahead. I mean, let's be a little young when I get that, don't you think?
Well, you can put a year on it.
Okay. Yeah.
3 years? 5 years? 10 years?
4? Let's say 4.
4 years. All right.
Good.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 is good. Çağıl, you know,
Yes.
we have listeners from all around the world, and they're like your age or younger, even though my generation listens to this podcast as well. But, you know, how did it happen that you chose to be an actress? Like, isn't that a very, it looks like a very rosy road, but it's actually not, right?
I mean, like life, it has its ups and downs, obviously.
Oh my God!
No, what?
Yes, she had her birthday this week. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Çağıl. Well, she's now 26. As her mother puts it, she's almost 27 now. Yes. Çağıl, happy birthday from us to you. This is the first time we do this. All right, make a wish at the radio.
Okay.
And yeah, we're filming this. Arda, why don't you go into the picture as well?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you. I wasn't expecting this. Okay.
Make a wish.
I am.
Woo! Super. Thank you, Arda. This was such a nice deed.
This is lovely.
Yes. As
I feel very lucky. Thank you so much.
so, we have the wish as well. Now, back to the question.
Yes. So I'm going to answer this in 2 parts.
Yeah.
So initially, when I was in high school, this is I think grade 10, I actually wanted to be an astrophysicist.
You studied here at TED, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the high school.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
Incek. And I wanted to, because I really loved like the mysterious aspect of the universe, and I really wanted to study astrophysics. Turns out a lot of math is involved in that. And
math is part of our life, yeah.
Well, yeah, but also like I really don't enjoy math. So I was at that like question marky phase of like I like the philosophy of astrophysics, but I really do not want to do the math. And right about that time, I was in a school play.
All right.
And we were rehearsing, we were having so much fun. It was just like, you know, fun for me until we ended up performing the play at the Shinasi stage.
Okay.
And the moment I was on stage, I fell in love. It was insane. Like I felt this warmth in my chest, and I believed that was what I was supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. Because nothing felt very certain as, you know, this feeling.
So it's like your heart was taking over.
Exactly. My heart was telling me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's when I decided that I'm going to be an actress. And it's been a hard road.
So you fell in love. So all of a sudden your emotional IQ kicked in, and your logic was trying to sort of get in tune with your heart, and then you said, you know, I fell in love with this, and all of a sudden this astrophysicist, mathematical mind, whatever, sort of dissolved. Okay, but then how did you sort of think about the road ahead, because there's so many people who want to go this route right now, especially when there's fame so prominent, especially in countries like ours, and they're like people who are becoming more and more famous globally through the export of Turkish sitcoms, etc. So, didn't you even think about the hardship of it?
So here's the thing. The way that I know it, love can definitely trip you up. So when I say I fell in love with acting, it didn't make my logic disappear. It actually made it sharper. So I did not know what the road ahead was going to be, and I knew that it was going to be very difficult. But I had this willpower inside of me to do it no matter what, because I felt as though it was worth it. Because I believe that acting and theater is an all connective medium, because it's been in our lives since like the antique Greek theater and so on and so forth. So it's not only acting that I really adore, it's also the philosophy of it, the how it's cherished, and I cherish it so much. So therefore, walking into this industry, I never really did it for the fame. I never really did it for the recognition. It was always for the arts. It was always about telling a story. And I wanted to focus on that, and knowing that being my leading light within my heart, I think that made the challenge more palatable.
So
easier.
expression is necessary for evolution, says Emerson.
Yes.
And I think this intuitive call, whatever your life path or life duty is, was sort of underlining this expression well in you. But, I had in the studio Harika Uygur, one of the cast directors, and very, very good friend of mine. She underlined the fact that you should be schooled to do this job. And that's what you did. You went to Boston University.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do the other route? Why didn't you just go to, a casting agency and say, I want to be an actress and take a couple of courses here? Why did you go the hard way of studying it, for example? And you went to Boston for doing it, for God's sake.
Let me ask you this. You went to Harvard, right?
Yeah.
And you studied what you studied at Harvard. Now you have a better understanding and a larger respect to what you do, correct?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so you could have been, self-made. You could have not gone to school, and that's okay, but you gain respect, and you gain value.
Self-respect as well, right?
Self-respect and respect to your craft and value when you put in time to what this is. It's kind of like, training for sports. When you put time in, when you invest time, it becomes more valuable. And for me, this wasn't just like a whimsical, I want to be an actress, and 3 months later forget about it. No, I actually wanted to put time, invest my life force into this craft. And that's why I went to school. And I learned so many new things aside from actually acting as well, because I think that's also really important.
You guys went to Milwaukee doing this theater show, you said, right?
Yes,
that must have been interesting as well, going from one state to another state, which is so different in the States.
Yes. It was, we did Peer Gynt. I can't remember the date exactly, but this was right after I graduated. And I was stage managing, actually. So I wasn't on stage, but I was behind the scenes. And just, changing states, it was so cold in Milwaukee. And rehearsing and seeing all of these experienced actors, because they were all 30 years older than I am, and seeing them kind of take over the stage and shine renewed my faith in the job that I chose. I was very grateful that I was, again, an actor on this path.
I have this question.
Yeah.
I always wonder, once you pursue this route, all right, and there's always so many different things right now. You can either do sitcoms, you can do films, you can do theater, etc. And how does one choose? Or is there something like you're an overall actor, or
I think so.
or do you choose a specific area that you sort of excel in?
I mean, it depends. It's not like medicine, right? You don't just choose orthopedics and call it a day.
Right.
I feel like, there are actors that dabble in everything.
All right.
But then you do develop a natural sense of like what you're good at. Like some people are very good at comedy, some people are extremely amazing at drama, and some people, you know, like to play the middle path. And they're character actors, and they're like typecast actors too. So it really does change depending on who you are.
So do you decide early on, or do you decide?
I don't think there's really a decision.
It's not a decision. Okay.
You know, I think you know what you like, but it's the perception of your acting, right? You know, how your acting is perceived really determines what kind of an actor you are.
Perfect. Now that sort of sets up the scene for my next question.
Yeah.
As we all know, but if you don't know, you should watch it. She was on Geleceğe Mektuplar, and she was Seda,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
And how, for example, how did you choose that, or did that choose you? And what was the perceptive mind for you after pre and post, like pre this project and post this project? How was this perceptive mind of yours individually sort of shifted? Because then all of a sudden, with a snap of a finger, you were like on Netflix, and
Right.
you were Seda all of a sudden, not Çağıl anymore.
Well, first of all, the outcome was incredible. I mean, I still am in shock to the fact that, like, you know, Netflix, and I'm on it, and it's like, you know, not my normal right now. It's still very weird. But so just a quick preface here. You don't. After one point, we get to choose what project we're in.
Yeah.
But right now, with the place that I am in my career, we get auditions. We send in auditions, and then the director, if he wants to, they choose to call us in, talk to us, see if we're a good fit for the character, and so on and so forth. And there are so many other things that goes into like an actor selection, which I'm not going to get into here.
Yeah.
But when I received the audition for Geleceğe Mektuplar for Seda, my initial perception of the character was actually that she was a little bit like mean.
All right.
And that's how I played it, because that was what she was on paper. So
Yeah.
bringing a literal human being to life from paper is such a process. So I played it the way that it was written on paper. And then a month later, I got a call back, and the director called me back, who is also a person who was educated in the United States. So we
Okay.
got along
Perfectly
beautifully. And we started talking about the character, and he kind of told me about the other aspects of Seda. And the more I started learning about her, the more she became real in my head. I started seeing her. And because I started like visualizing her, it was so much easier for me to actually become her. Because when you're building a character, you keep inputting information to them, what they like, what they don't like, what they look like, how they walk, and so on and so forth. And the more you know about them, it is easier for you to become them. So towards the end of filming, even my parents were actually like, you're becoming Seda, because that was the case. You know, I was constantly inputting information in my brain into this person. And that person became my best friend in my head, which is, you know, such a schizophrenic thing to say, but that's acting right here. It's like you create someone and they're there, and you like them, you don't like them, but they're there. So
That's
was
nice.
Seda
Now,
for me.
so the critical question here is, can one adapt this technique to real life to become the version of oneself?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah?
I actually actively do this.
Uh-huh.
Because
I teach a perception class, which you're going to be in it like in a couple of hours. And this is going to be one of the questions. Like, can we use this technique that you did in terms of becoming Seda? Like, you know, we design our new selves.
Yeah.
And this is actually about my startup, but you know, but I'm not going to
Which
get
I love, by the way.
I'm not going to get into that right now.
No, plug in your startup. Come on.
Yeah, Start You Up is my startup. It's
there
going to
you
become
go.
a unicorn where you design yourself to be, and we're selling you to you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
There's no other heroes. It's you who's going to be the hero of your life, and you're going to develop yourself with the assistance of the perfect tutors and AI, and you're going to design the new you. But I want to get back to this now
Yes.
after the commercial break. start you up. So the question is, can you design a new Çağıl, like in terms of Seda, and then you write your script, whatever, in your mind, in a different perceptive mind. So you co-create reality.
Yeah.
There's the absolute truth, but you co-create reality, and then you turn into that. Can that be adapted to real life?
It's so funny that you say this because we actually never talked about this before until
We never
today.
did that,
We
yeah.
haven't. We met this summer, and I started dabbling with this idea this past summer. I was just like, interesting, because in the beginning of the year I had some bad experiences, and I was just not feeling very good about myself, and there were some characteristic things that I wanted to change about myself in order to become a better human being. So I started seeing if I could implement the method that I used to create a character, like you said, into my own life, but to keep it genuine. That's the key, I think. So yes, absolutely, you can. It's basically creating a human being, but I think the key here is to make sure that you are still who you are. With
How do you keep
your
something like that
values.
genuine? Like
Well-
this word genuine, there are a couple of words right now who are so trendy, like resilience, sustainability. But then comes this word genuine that we have forgotten since many years.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this word written on my wall at home here, back in Istanbul, with yellow chalk. It says samimiyet, genuine. So what is the tipping point of becoming genuine and non-genuine or fake?
I do not have a rule for this. I can only
Right.
tell you what I do.
What do you do?
I'm honest with myself.
Uh-huh.
In social situations, in everyday life, I always ask myself, do I feel okay about this? Is this okay? Do I feel good? And I take action accordingly. So, for example, if I'm in a social situation where I do not feel good and I am not happy, I excuse myself and leave. Or if I like something so much, I allow myself that big happy moment because I know it's not fake. I'm not putting on a show. It's coming from within me, within my soul, if you believe in that. So I think genuineness is basically like your gut telling you what to do.
Oh, very nice. Gut. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's being able to hear that.
So it's more intuitive.
It is. I think it is. I mean, I cannot formulate this
So
for you.
it doesn't abide with the rules of the society.
No, absolutely not.
Because the society says, "Oh, you're not genuine," but they judge you towards the rules which are set in the society. But you're saying something else. You're saying it's an intuitive thing. It's an inner thing which actually calls upon you, and you act towards.
Exactly. I mean,
so,
look at us, for example. I mean, yes, we're Turkish, but we were educated in the United States and we're friends, but there's like a massive age gap between us. And, societally, this is not okay. We're not typical human beings for the Turkish society. And yet we're here and we're talking and it's good. So who's to say what rules are and who should abide by them?
See, more and more the society is also breaking up. It's becoming a melting pot of genres and ages. You're my son's friend, in a way.
Right.
You're the same generation, but here am I having a very intellectual conversation with you towards a path that you're heading, and which I see it's going to be a very, very nice future. But my question here would be, in all this genuineness, okay, how do you keep your act together? How do you make it that fame doesn't blow your mind?
You don't.
Or does it?
You make mistakes.
Uh-huh.
It always happens.
So
I've made mistakes. I mean, I have. And this is where having good friends is actually such an amazing thing. I've made the mistake of getting my head a little too big.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But I'm human, right? Like, you get attention, and after one point, every single human being has a concept of ego inside of them, and it is a choice of noticing whether or not your ego is being inflated or seeing fame as a byproduct of what you do.
what controls ego in you, your or balances ego in you? Is it your identity, as Freud would put it, or is it your molds or red lines which sort of help you back up?
I think it's molds and red lines mostly, because I know the feeling. So I have clocked what ego feels like. So in acting, you feel a lot of things physically. Like we are taught to, when you feel like love, where do you feel it? When you feel anxiety, where do you feel it? And so on.
Okay.
So I taught myself where ego feels. And in certain situations, the way that I react. Am I walking away from who I am? Or am I rightfully accepting praise? So there's a very big difference. So you can accept praise. Like you said, that you liked my show, and I said thank you because I've put in time and effort and money and whatever into that show.
So did I, watching it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching it and subscribing to Netflix.
Yeah, of course I did.
Not sponsored. But at the same time, there does become a point, and social media actually is a big part of this, where you kind of feel like, oh, like people like me, and it's kind of nice. And, it's really nice to be liked. But, that can get very big very quickly, and that can turn you into a nasty human being. So
it sort of distracts you and takes you away of being that word, genuine.
Genuine. Well, yeah. Yes, you become plastic. I mean, I became plastic. There was a point where my success or my work was everything, and I just kept talking about the shows and whatever. And after one point, like, I noticed that a lot of the people around me would just quiet down and they would get bored. And then one of my friends was like, he told me, he was just like, stop, like, you're becoming insufferable. And that was a good wake-up call for me. And I reminded myself why I chose this path. Again, it's the value of the art, not the fame.
Excellent. So you are setting your own value scheme around your center, and you're putting at your center a word called, actually not a word called, but a word sort of sinking deep into your roots, being genuine. And you're also making a list of things which feeds you to keep intact.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically, yeah. That's a good way of mapping it.
All right. So what are those things which feed that being genuine? So you are set and ongoing on the route that you're heading.
Well, I mean, for me, off the top of my head, curiosity is one of those things. Always being hungry to learn more. I mean, learn more about the person in front of you, learn more about what you do, learn more about, I don't know, birds, whatever that interests you. It's the curiosity and hunger. That's one of the things that makes me genuine. Secondly, kindness. Kindness is so important. Like, you feel when you're unkind to somebody, and I feel like that weighs on your soul. So kindness
to everything, animals, everything. Whatever, society, environment,
life, yourself, your friend, your pet, any kind of like material thing that you own. Kindness is really important.
Kindness, and
also it became like an outdated thing, which is so bad in my opinion. And also being able to apologize.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything more genuine than forgiveness or asking for forgiveness. Because nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes.
So curiosity, kindness, and forgiveness.
Yeah, that's
all these like things we forget. I know, but yeah, hallmark. But but we forget about these things. We are so much tapped into these different words like resilience and sustainability and agility and all that, and we forget about these core words, which are actually acts of behavior, which feed, as you perfectly put it, being genuine.
Exactly. It's being a human being.
Yeah.
And when you said resilience, this actually came to my head. We, with the 21st century and everything in technology and now AI, are taught to be soldiers every single day, like fight and be resilient and be hard. The value of softness is actually ignored.
The value of the heart.
I mean, I was raised on a Russian discipline. I was educated in the United States. I am hard on myself. I am. But I realized we have a life. We are human beings. And we get to live this life as long as we are kind and apologetic or forgiving and curious about what's around us. We can just live, you know? We don't have to be the next whatever.
You know what? You know, I was going to ask you, what is your formula for life? And here you go. You're like talking about a formula. Yeah, you're talking about being genuine equals to curiosity plus kindness.
Plus kindness.
Yeah. And then you maybe close the bracket and multiply that with what? What would you multiply all that trio with?
Joy.
Joy.
Joy. It's joy.
Joy.
Because we forget about joy so much. I mean, joy is like a ray of sunshine. I know that all of this sounds so, but like trust me on this. Once you have joy, it's contagious. Like people get the joy.
It's magnetic.
It's magnetic, and not to just bring people in. When you have joy within you, life becomes brighter. So I think that's really important to have joy.
So you multiply all those pluses with joy. And then here you have your formula of being genuine, which is actually the way actually you're building maybe your perception.
Maybe. I hope.
See? That's what I was going to do in class. We did it on our show, but it doesn't matter. We're
going to do it again
We're going to do it again in class.
I was so nervous.
You know, but that's the thing. You know, if you put this formula into anything, and that's what Start You Up does as well, you know, helps you find that formula.
Yeah.
We did it in a quicker way right now. But, you know, once you have your formula, you can, and have all those words like curiosity, forgiveness.
I forgot about honesty. That's important too.
We can put that into the formula as well. But once you take these words and make them objectives, for each word you can create a key performance area, and you act upon it. You know, how does one become joyful, but not Semih or someone else? Çağıl. How does Çağıl become joyful? So you list things, and you work towards that to keep that joy.
Exactly.
But you said curiosity and forgiveness and kindness, and then we multiply that with joy. But where do we put honesty then? Because honesty, for being genuine, you got to be honest, right?
Yeah, I think just, you know, open the bracket, put in curiosity plus kindness plus forgiveness.
Yes.
Close the bracket.
Times
joy.
Yeah.
Bigger bracket, honesty.
Honesty on top.
Exactly. So, like
square it. Yeah.
You're the math guy. What I'm trying to say is honesty is, if you're not honest with any of the things that we just said, it's not going to work. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So truthfulness as part of your act of being honest. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you can fake curiosity to impress somebody. You can fake kindness for the sake of a transaction. All of these things that you can fake for the sake of a transaction. If you want something, this formula is great. So it's a double-edged sword, right? Unless you have honesty. And if you're honest with all of the things that we just listed to you and to the person in front of you, I think then this works.
Here comes the question.
Go ahead.
In your profession.
Yes.
Not talking about honesty. In your profession, when you're acting, do you fake it or do you make it?
Well, I am.
Now, be careful with this. Be careful with this answer, right? Okay. In your profession, do you fake Seda or do you fake the role that you're given?
Well, it depends. So you said in my profession.
Yes.
Which does not only include being on set or on stage.
Yeah.
But also being a persona.
As in front of the cast director or with your agent and or in the commercial that you're invited to pose, etc.
So let's divide this into two.
Please.
So active acting, I don't fake it.
Okay.
I prefer not to fake it because of course, there are moments where it's just like the emotion's not getting into my head and I have to fake it. I have to make it mechanical so that it is truthful. But I really enjoy becoming that person because I think it's actually what I owe to the character that's written, to the story that's written. Can I swear? Is that okay?
Yeah, I swear.
I think it's a little bit half-assing when Çağıl, fakes something because it's not truthful to me or what I've learned or what my, mission is. But there are actors who, prefer to fake it to make it, and that's okay. Like, that's their method. My method is a little bit different. Now, when it comes to becoming a persona outside, so becoming the actor Çağıl, it's actually so funny. One of my very dear teachers told me this. You have to be 3 versions as an actor. First version is you, so Simi.
Yeah.
Second version is actor Simi.
All right.
Which is the person that you present to your like agents or events or directors or producers. That's like the actor person.
Okay.
And the final one is the character. So like Seda, for example.
Okay.
But so the actor Çağıl, it's still me, but we take the formula and we play around with the numbers a little bit. So maybe less curiosity, more kindness, or maybe less kindness, more curiosity, depending on, for example, if you're sitting with a director, you would want to amp up the curiosity because you're going to be in a world that they've created. So it is still me, but like a different version of me.
So you're like, like I have it in front of me. You're like equalizing it.
Exactly. Like that. Yeah.
Like this. Like you're equalizing it. Oh my God. Look at this. We started talking about, acting and Çağıl, and all of a sudden now we're talking about the formula of life, of how one sort of structure.
Dude, I love this. No, actually though, I was not expecting this.
Yeah, we're like talking about a formula that you can adapt to anything in life. Like when you fall in love, when you're when you're in an interview, as you're receiving an award, or as you are like facing something which is like a heartbreak or injustice.
Oof.
This formula, you can play with it, and it's such a nice formula where every formula is very nice. Actually, I was like having this session with a 17-year-old lady who lives in Miami, and she came up with a formula where there was power plus there was success, and then there was I forgot something else, and then she closed the formula, multiplied that with happiness and giving.
Okay.
And she said, for this formula to work, she said, my heart and my mind has to be in balance, or has to be sort of in touch with each other.
In sync.
Yeah, in sync. And that would sort of activate the formula. Now, if you take this formula and adapt that to anything in life, it works. Okay.
Yeah.
And your formula as well, if you take that formula and put it into anything in life, it will work for you because it's your formula. You brought it up with your own words. Yes, I was trying to sort of guide you towards it, but you brought it up. And all of a sudden, we are here from a profession into actually a way of living life. And I think that is very valuable consciousness and awareness for any human person.
Yeah,
Would you say so?
Amazing. And also just having a tangible thing to kind of go off of. And like you said, to be able to put it into every single aspect of life, it's beautiful. Almost.
So what's next for Çağıl?
Securing.
Where is Çağıl going next?
Lunch. No.
any projects? You don't have to name them, but you can say film, series, whatever.
There are a couple of TV shows that I am flirting with.
All right.
I'm also I have this lovely friend who I hope can actually come here. He's amazing. We're writing a script together for a movie. Yeah, so we're in the pre-production stage of that project because my business part of my brain, like I want to be creating something all the time. Yeah, so that's what we are doing. We've been working on it for the past 2 months, I want to say. So
that's the Oscar journey, right?
Of course. Yeah. Against my movie. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Best Actress, but I'm saying some Oscar.
It's what was the theater name where you received the awards? Getty something, right?
think.
Yeah.
Did you know that YouTube is actually planning on acquiring the Oscars?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
my
are,
God.
and like having it streamed on YouTube, I think.
So you're doing this script writing with them, okay?
I'm doing that. I am currently in the process of flirting with 2 TV shows, maybe a
Alright.
movie. We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I am cautiously stepping back into theater
Okay.
because I did a lot of theater when I moved here, and then I took a break. And now I got in contact with a friend of mine recently, and we're thinking maybe we can do a play together, or rather me be a part of a play that they're going to be doing. What else other than that?
Anything in the future, like, would we see Chill, for example, on off Broadway or
Off-Broadway?
or Broadway, or we see Chill in London, for example? And
Okay, so
yeah, come on, yeah, give us some inspiration here, babe.
So, yes, my goal is actually to move to London at some point because I love the city. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. It's just has all of this
So
art.
welcoming, yeah.
It's so welcoming. And so hopefully within the next 2 years, yes, you will see me going back and forth from London. And during this time, I actually want to be able to establish my own production company, which was in the works for the last 2 years. And we're just, slowly but surely constructing it. So yeah, London for sure. This is in the way, way, way future, but I do have a couple of American films that I'm toying around with that I want to make or manifest into reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. We're going to be seeing this lady abroad so much more now that I'm actually establishing my kind of roots here, but I really want to grow out there.
Wow.
So we're going to see.
That's nice geography perspective.
Thank you.
I would kill myself if I don't do this, but
Oh my God.
what happened to kiteboarding? What happened to kite surfing? You were telling me this summer, I'm going to be doing this kite surfing thing, down. And hey, on behalf of Kite Gang.
Sorry, guys. I'm still, actually, hold on. Let me see. My show got aired.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
It's because, you were talking about this, and I actually did take a moment to scan that time. My show aired, so I had to come back. I had the galas.
I'm just pulling
and
your
the
leg.
interviews.
I'm just pulling your leg. But on behalf of the Kite Gang family, I had to sort of do this.
Kite Gang.
But
I'm still in contact with the
yes,
fans.
I know.
Okay.
I want to just go into the last
Yeah,
little
go ahead.
part. You come from a very interesting family because, the family business is hardcore business,
Yes.
And you guys are 3. There's Ilgun and there's Mehmet.
Yes.
And you and Ilgun are doing something totally different than the family business. Does this put Mehmet on the spot? How does it work?
I mean, it's weird. So
He's still in high school, right?
he is still in high school, but this is the funny thing. So my sister actually did study business.
But she's doing what right now?
No, she's actually doing a little bit of business in the
but
company as well.
she's doing something else.
She's also competing as a dancer.
Yes.
She's very good, by the way.
By the way, Ilgun, here's a
Shout
invitation to you, cordially, to come to this show and talk about dancing and you.
There you go.
Yeah, Ilgun.
Yes, when this airs, I'm going to, because she's in Belgium right now, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to text her and tell
Okay.
her to. Okay, but she's dancing, yes, but she does a little bit of business as well. So the funny thing is, I'm an actor. My sister's a dancer. My brother's an amazing painter and sketch artist and drawer.
artistic genes.
It's interesting because my dad's an engineer and my mom studied Soviet history. So we did not have any kind of art directly given to
God.
us. And here are 3 artists who are probably going to starve.
How does the family manage this? You are, you must have such a liberal or... what would I call your family? I just met your father this morning, but
Yes.
what would you call? How do they manage this?
Well, they were scared at first with me. I think that's the curse of being the firstborn, is that you try and do something And 9 times out of 10, the first reaction is no. And it's like, I've learned to take that no with a grain of salt. Like, okay, cool, no, but I'm still going to do it. So I personally had to prove myself again and again and again that this is the job that I want to be doing and that I'm good at it and that I'm hardworking enough to actually keep being on this path, and I'm not going to stop doing it. So they were convinced that I was actually meant to be doing this job when I moved to Istanbul and played in my first TV show, and they visited me on set.
Oh, they did. They were checking on. Were they just visiting or checking upon you?
Oh, always both. Always both. Come on. I mean, we know they're parents. They're checking up on me for sure. And it was a very difficult scene. I had to, like, in the series, my dad was killed, so I had to, like, cry right before the funeral. And, like, I'm there and I'm building myself up and I'm having all of these emotions. And, like, right out there is the director's monitor and my mom and dad are just, like, watching. It was stressful. But, you know, once they got that, I think it was a little bit easier with my sister because she's already amazing at dancing. And I'm always supporting her because, you know, being that black sheep artist, like, you know, if somebody wants to get into art, I will be there for them. So, but she's smart. She does dance, but she also does do business and like work with the company. So she's very good at managing
Multitasker.
Multitasker, yeah. My brother, he wants to be a mechanical engineer. I would really want him to continue doing art though, like animation maybe just like painting and, you know, showing them off somewhere. I don't know, but yeah.
So what an amazing actually family structure to sort of it's not just support but also earning that support as kids, right? You know, like because like the parents, you know, as you said, us parents, we're going to be always cautious, you know. Same thing with me. Like I always check on my daughter, my son, how they're doing, how they're feeling.
You're so proud of them.
I am. I'm very proud of them. Yes, of course. And Sim just started working with us at the startup Start You Up, and
you did mention that.
Yeah, she's very enthusiastic so far. Let's see, and Sean is doing something else. But as you say, we always check on them. But then we see that the way they pave their own road. We got to give them some rope as well, you know, loosen up a bit. And as you know, so there's I think this is a very inspirational episode where we're talking about a lot of things, but we're talking about formulas at the same time. Like, you know, when people listen to this, they should sort of draw certain things out of that. So I want to ask you, what would your 3 points of advice is or would be to the listeners of those generation who are right now in school? What would you say to them?
Okay. Hi, listeners. Well, first of all, and this was actually a lesson to me, so I would like to pass this on to you. Always be curious with what you do. If it doesn't spark curiosity, don't do it.
Okay.
Just
That's
don't. It's
one.
a waste of time.
All right.
Truly. And there's always a way. That's another thing. There is always a way. If you are looking at something and if it doesn't make sense on this side, then turn it around and you'll always find a way. I had to do this again and again and again, and it has worked so far. We'll see. Come back in a few years. Maybe I'll be, completely different. And finally, yes, be real. This is the curse of turkey. This is the curse of turkey. Ready?
What is that?
Be realistic, yes, but always believe in a little bit of magic. We are this is what I noticed after moving here from the United States. Everyone is so caught up in realism, rightfully so, because it's a very difficult country to live in presently, that we forget about the magic. We forget about building dreams and, you know, creating things, which is what I think life is all about. So yes, be realistic, but never forget about the magic. That is what will change your life.
Excellent. So curiosity, and then
as always,
believe in the magic. And what was the second one?
what was it? Always stick with it. Basically,
Yeah.
stick with it. If it doesn't work one way, switch it around, but stick with it.
Eventually, it will happen.
Yeah.
In a way. All right. I tend to sort of agree with the last point very much in terms of magic, because I always say it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Like it's an illusion, and this illusion sometimes we call whatever reality we call, that is also an illusion.
Yeah.
And because it never stops, it flows. Time never stops, and we think we stop time, but we don't.
No, time doesn't even
I see these Instagram posts where they say, I kissed and time stopped. No, it didn't stop. It just, it's maybe a prolonged time, but it doesn't stop. Einstein is right with saying that it's all relative. And but within that illusion, the factoring of magic is so important. And to all those who feel not happy, not appreciative, to all those who are waiting for that spark, that morning, saying, I feel something nice has to happen this morning. It has.
You woke up.
Yep. And there's this magic. And you said, I feel that spark in me. That's the magic.
Exactly.
Put that to work. Put that to work towards your life.
Yeah.
And create your own formulas. Create your own hero. Create your own illusionative self, if you will.
It's insane. Like, for example, so yesterday was my birthday, and
when we air this, it's going to be the day before. So this is going to be aired on Friday. Today's Friday.
Today's Friday? No, today's Thursday.
Yeah, but today's Friday.
But today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
Today's Friday, you guys.
Today's Friday, but yesterday was Thursday, and your birthday was
My
the
birthday
day before.
was on the 22nd. Let's just say that, because it's getting way too complicated for me right now.
It was this week, yes.
It was this week, but we're talking about magic, right? And so a group of friends, we all gathered together at my place, and it was like, I did not want any gifts.
Yeah.
And I just told them, bring yourselves, dress up the way that you would. We're going to take pictures. And I have this wonderful picture, a wonderful video actually, of everyone just being completely themselves and posing for a picture and looking so joyful that that was a very magical picture, because that's where the spark is. All of the people that, you value, friends and loved ones. I think that's why love is very important as well, is that that is where magic lies, within love and within sharing that love with the people that you care about. And that's
so we have genuine. To be genuine,
Yes.
we have our formula of curiosity
Yes.
and forgiveness
Yes.
and kindness. That is multiplied by
Joy.
and overarching, we have honesty.
Truthfulness.
Here we go. We have a formula. And with this formula, In and Out with Professor Yalman from TED University, Ankara Studios at Radio TED U, we had our wonderful guest today, our future Oscar winner, Çağıl Aydıner, and all her inspirative, joyful, actually teachings to us and to our listeners. Come back again, and let's see how it goes in class.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I was so excited for this, and now just being here with you was amazing. I would love to come back again.
Excellent.
Thanks.
So keep on watching us, be tuned, and don't forget to formulate your own formula
Do it.
where you are the hero. Yeah.